everyone, BlackWitchDirah here, Luciferian Witch of the Left Hand Path and Occult Educator. I hope you are all doing well. Today's video is going to be about the idea that we need to fear demons. Going over the reasoning as to why one might fear demons and is that fear necessary. But before we get into that, a few updates. So, as you probably know, the video with Savannah, when we scheduled it, didn't really go to plan. Kind of my fault. So that has been rescheduled for a couple of weeks' time. So still going ahead, still time to send questions in if you haven't already. You know, the questions that you've already asked, you know, we'll include those as well. Obviously we won't be going through every single question because there's a lot and we'll only have a certain amount of time, but yeah, we'll be picking out a few. So if you haven't already, you can still send your questions in. In terms of my projects, nothing really new to announce with regards to that. Still working hard on witch skills, still making content for that. One thing I will say is that I do have a demonology course on my website, which isn't going to be available forever. Like, as soon as witch skills launches, that's going in the bin. So yeah, if you want access to that content while you still can, it's you know, listed as cheap as it's going to get on the website. So you know, that's just, you know, limited time only at the moment. So if you're interested in kind of like a short-term 6-week course on demonology, I would recommend that, especially for those that like might not be sure demonology is for them but just want to explore the topic. I would recommend that. So let's get into today's video. Do we need to fear demons? Why do the collective have this fear towards the demonic? Now, as someone that works with demons, obviously my biased opinion is going to be no, you don't need to fear them, but I don't know how much fact is in that over opinion, and let me explain. So I don't have a reason to fear demons because I know what I'm doing and because I know how they work and because I have experience in doing so. People that don't know what they're doing, I'd say, would have a reason to fear the demonic, because you are inserting yourself into something that you have no idea the power that it holds. And the thing is, like, people that work with demons can sit there and say that demons aren't inherently malevolent, but they can really fuck up your life if you don't know what you're doing. You know, this is why I stress so much about, you know, when I work with clients one-on-one, like mental health and things like that, because I don't want some kind of disorder to be influencing you into getting into this and you fucking yourself up from it. And people get really, like, not generally, but I've had one or two that are really offended when I say that, you know, hearing voices is a symptom of psychosis or schizophrenia, and they're like, I don't have schizophrenia, I'm so offended. And I'm just like, your reaction to that is not telling me that you are of a level of sanity appropriate enough for me to be working with you. So, and your offence is just not my problem at all. My ethics are my priority, so fuck off. Not in the nicest possible way, I don't give a shit. So that's something I have to factor in a lot, like people's mental health. And the thing is, it's like, I feel like today, it's like people that practice demonology and teach it, they portray, in order to make a quick buck, that anyone can do it. And that, you know, it's for everyone. And, you know, you can really change your life through working with demons. And yeah, you can. It's fucking changed my life for the better. And yeah, they're claiming that they can educate you through the process, but that doesn't mean it's for you. Like, you might just not, your energy might just not jam well with them, you know. We're not all like, you know, we don't all hold this really kind of chthonic energy. There are just some people that it's just not for them. And when I say it's not for them, there's nothing about it like being a closed practice, not at all. But you know, I'm so for gatekeeping the occult. It needs to be gatekept. It really does. I'm sorry, it does. If you've read either the Lesser Key of Solomon or the Grimoire in Verum, I can't remember which one it specifically says this in. I think it might even be in both, I'm not entirely sure. But it basically says that if we're looking at like the Abrahamic part of it, right? It says how God and the angels didn't want this stuff to fall into the wrong hands, so they only revealed this knowledge to people that had the capacity to make good decisions and were wise. And yeah, you can take like, you can be like, oh, you know, that's Abrahamic, whatever. It's a fucking Abrahamic grimoire, get over it. If you have the capacity to remove yourself from the dogma for a second, you can acknowledge that this stuff is not to fall into the hands of people that are fucking fools. And the thing is when you teach occultism online, you can't identify if people are fucking fools or not. And that's the thing. I'm not saying that it's necessarily our responsibility to do so. Like, we do the best we can. Like, I know I do. Like I said, I check in on people's mental health because, you know, that's really important. And, you know, at the end of the day, if we teach someone something and they fuck around with it and they fuck themselves up, like, it's not our responsibility. But at the same time, because of the tendency for that to happen, this fucking chair, 1 second. Because of the tendency of that to happen, we have to acknowledge that no, demonology isn't for everyone. It's not for everyone, because some people just are fucking brain dead stupid. And those brain dead stupid people are the ones that do need to fear demons. They should be fucking afraid, because it will fuck up their life. And this is why when someone wants to learn demonology from me, I do ask them what they actually want from this. And if they fall into something that I call category A, which are people that literally just want this to use this as a tool to fulfill their carnal desires, I'm more wary of that than people who are like, I want to improve myself, I want to have access to supreme gnosis and things like that. I'm more wary of the people that want something from it to fulfill, like, that's okay, we all have carnal desires, and you know, why the fuck not use magic and working with demons to fulfill those? But it's clouding your judgment. It's clouding your judgment, and it might be acting as an illusion, a fix to your problems, which it is not. I kind of feel like demons do need to not be feared, but just very, very respected. People that go around treating demons like they're genies are in for a nasty surprise. The people that really kick off and have a fucking strop when a demon doesn't fulfill their requests are the ones that need to be afraid. Because you're just being an entitled little bitch, and who's going to want to do anything for you if you are an entitled little bitch? And let's kind of change onto a different perspective on demons. So we know that Christianity and Hollywood kind of bounce off of each other when it comes to, you know, the misconceptions and the kind of evil stance on demons. I mean, I think if you've clicked on this video, you probably don't buy into that. So, you know, there's that. We know that that's not an accurate stance on demons, what they are. We know that they are very neutral beings, but people still find them scarier than others. And also, like, even in terms of appearances, like, the description of biblical angels and how they appear, fucking terrifying. But it's this idea that like, oh, you know, God, angels good, demons bad, so demons naturally are the scary ones. And I would say that I've never found demons to be more scary than any other kind of spirit that I've worked with. They're no scarier than dead people. They're no scarier than Santa Mayday. They're no scarier than any other kind of pantheon I've worked with. You know, there's nothing that makes them more scarier than the other. I would say that, I mean, obviously the energy is different. I'd say that the intensity of the energy is different in the sense of like how they operate and where they operate within the realms, and the way they manifest is different in terms of its intensity. It is more intense, but that doesn't necessarily equate scary. I think what freaks people out the most about working with demons is part of it being the kind of unknown. Like, we're generally afraid of things that fall within like the unknown, but then I'd sort of question like, why are you an occultist then? Because like that's literally what we're fucking working with every day. And it amuses me when I see other practitioners getting like freaked out by like the idea of experiencing like paranormal activity. I'm just like, what do you expect? Like, you can't work with the dead or demons or whatever you're working with and then freak the fuck out when, I don't know, something falls off the shelf or something like that. Like, it fucking happens. It's what you're doing. And they're like so shocked about, like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. Like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean you can't believe that just happened? Of course it fucking did. So yeah, if you're like scared of paranormal shit, I could question why you'd want to like fuck with this in the first place. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, this whole thing about like the unknown and, you know, being afraid of what we don't know, being afraid of uncertainty. Because the thing is about demons is we don't really know why they work with us. It's, you know, we can have our opinions on it, but there's no fact involved in that. There's no fact about, you know, this is the reason why they work with us. We don't know. And, you know, you can allow that to scare you, or you can just accept that you don't know. For me, I find the unknown intriguing rather than off-putting, kind of depending on the situation. But in terms of the occult, I find it intriguing. Rather than something to be afraid of. And when I talk to my friends and, you know, they ask me this, they're like, oh, how's work going? I'll be like, yeah, you know, this and that. And I'd be like, I could never do what you do. And part of me is like, oh, come on, it's not that fucking scary. But then another part of me is like, no, actually, like, of course you couldn't. Because this isn't for everyone. It's not for everyone to become an occultist, and this is why I think we need to be careful about how we market occult education, because we need to make sure that we're not selling something with certain claims attached to it about how things can change your life, and, you know, basically like fucking selling snake oil almost, because I think it's somewhat irresponsible to do so. You could be attracting people that are getting themselves into something based on illusion. So yeah, that's just like something I think about a lot. Like, how can we market occult services, but more so occult education, and sort of overcome that thing? Because we can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, no, the occult needs to be gatekept, and in the same breath be like, everyone watching this video should buy my demonology course. Like, it's there's a contradiction there. So what is the answer to the question, do we need to fear demons? Depends. It depends on you. It depends on your approach. It depends on you as a person. Are you going to show the appropriate level of respect? Are you educated enough to know what you're doing? And are you responsible and capable of making wise decisions? If the answer to all of those questions is yes, you're going to be respectful, you have the capacity to make wise decisions, and you're educated in your approach, then no, you don't have a reason to fear them. However, if you're gonna fuck around, you're gonna find out. So that is all from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. That just wasn't necessary, was it? And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye for now.